Okay, so we have come together, like I said, to create the I Accuse. I don't know if I call ourselves a group, a movement, or whatever, but what we try to do is to bring back sanity to this country. And the message, yes, the message is that, you know, in order to, a lot of people are doing a lot of movements across Canada today for defend our climate and defend our communities. Everything that is happening in Canada today was made through decision making by this government, by our politicians. Everything that happens in Canada happens because they have allowed it. That's the sad reality of the tar sands, Line 9, the pipelines, the fracking. It's all about corporations. The only way we're going to save this country, its natural resources, and get back to life as it should be, is for the people to come together and stand together as one, and to make sure that the people in this building here behind me know that they are, number one, public servants. They are not here to dictate, because when we started to look at what is the root cause of everything that's happening, the missing and murdered women, everything that has not been done, the, how do I say, with everything that's happened to the environment, there's a reason behind it. The root cause is who? The government, the people in Parliament, the ones who allow this to happen, the bureaucrats, the corporations who pay these bureaucrats. You know, when I started looking at the Haudenosaunee, the one thing that I fell in love with was the Great Law. The Great Law is pretty much like what they have in Africa, which is Ubuntu. And if people who believe in Ubuntu come together and open their eyes like everybody else should in the world, and when you instill the Great Law, it's the same teachings. And it's the same teachings. So if somebody doesn't understand what the Great Law is, or Ubuntu, it's direct democracy. It's participatory democracy, where the voice of the people come together and make the decisions. And then those who represent the people, the public servants, go back and say what the people want, and then you negotiate back and forth. Because when it's the voice of the people that speak for this country, there is no room for corruption. Yeah. They cannot corrupt 35 million people. They don't have enough money. And whatever the government says they can do for us, we can do better for ourselves. And that's a sad reality, that until we realize this and do not make a move and stand and take our responsibility as citizens and the nations of this country, they will get away with murder. The murder of this planet, the murder of the people, and those who are mentally incapable of handling all of the hardships that they're been thrown at because of bureaucrats who have no clue what is happening to people in distant lands. Now we have a whole bunch of things that affect us. People at the United Nations who are making decisions for the people here in this land. But it's time that we educate everybody, and this is why we created I Accuse, was to give people solutions. Let's start talking solutions. We have enough people who are intelligent, enough people who know how to respect the environment, what we should do to teach us. All of these people here, all the nations across Canada, all the people who care about the tar sands, the fracking, everything, the missing and murdered women. We need to stop and pay attention. We need to get off our iPads, iPods, the internet, and we need to go door to door and wake up all the citizens. What we've also launched with this is something called Occupy Your Lawn signs. If everybody in Canada, the politicians could put lawn signs when they have their little political party elections. Well, let's put one for the people. Everybody should have a lawn sign saying what they do not like about the government, what they want to see rectified. Please respect the lands. So with what we're doing here, and to explain what this is, I Accuse Canada is an Indigenous and civil unified sovereign enactment. Together we can rebuild this country. Together we can fix the wrongs. Together we can wipe out 500 years of indignity that this government has brought upon itself in the name of Canadian people. I am ashamed to be called a Canadian, But I'm proud today to say that I am a Canadian citizen, I am a settler. And I do understand these people, and what happened in the past can be fixed. There is hope, but we need to work together. So what we've created is, what we're trying to hope for is, this here is the two-row, which was a peace treaty. What we would like to do with the two-row is create a new two-row living constitution where everybody lives in peace and harmony, and where we can govern this country together. The nations and the citizens together. There is no reason why we can't do this, and there's no reason why we can't create a constitution within this new two-row living constitution where both sides come together within their communities, and then we go up nationally. And at the end, both sides come together in consensus, and no one can make a decision without the other saying it's okay, because it's not okay to neglect the nations. It's not okay to terrorize their lands. It's not okay to steal their lands and say we gave you a right to hunt, fish, and trap in the provinces when none of the provinces were ever negotiated as land claims. Right. So we know the truth, Canada. You can't lie anymore. Right. And hell, not in my name, not in the name of these children, not in the name of the First Nations, it's enough.
Right.
Not in our names, we know the truth. Yes, Canada was stolen. Yes, the United States was stolen. These people are not Canadian citizens. They are North American Indigenous Ongwehowe people. This is Turtle Island. So let's get back to getting rid of the Canadian corporation, the Crown Corporation, create a new two-row living constitution for the people, by the people, on both sides, and let's get this show on the road. So if you want to sign these, we'll have them ready for you. You can come and get them and send them to all your MPs. Let's work together within our communities to get the word out, because you can be protesting all you want, stomp your feet all you want. They don't care. They have a mandate. And you need to learn about globalization, because globalization is coming. 68 people in Parliament here know about globalization. They sit on the Globalization Parliamentary Committee. Do they tell you that they sit on this committee? No, they don't. They'll tell you, though, Canada no longer has national sovereignty. What does that mean? Sovereignty doesn't mean who was born here first on this land. To them, sovereignty doesn't mean you're sovereign as a human being. To them, it means to be able to protect yourself militarily. So when the Canadian government talks about sovereignty, that's what it means. Between the NDAA that was signed last year and the new documents with the SPP and the new NAFTA agreements and the free trade agreements, we are being sold out. If you do not rise now, we are losing this country. The nations and the Canadian citizens have two choices. Either ignore the problem and become globalized, lose their jobs to foreign workers, which is now being introduced as an assimilation and a new re-assimilation of the entire earth. So we're being recolonized under a one world government, which this government supports, which a lot of the leaders support, because if you look at the United Nations, who sits on the Parliamentary Committee for Global Governance, you will find Elizabeth May, you will find Nicole Turmel, you will find Justin Trudeau, you will find David Suzuki, you will find Maud Barlow. Either these people do not realize what's going on, they're too busy and they're being hooked-winked, brainwashed, or they don't care what happens to the nations in this country, because what's going to happen is the nations are going to lose their lands, and this is why they're doing this to you. They will not remove the bills. They will not stop the bills, because they need to finalize globalization, and that's a fact. Do your research. Go to iaqs.com. Go to decolonizenorthamerica.com. But at least start looking. Stop keeping the status quo. Stop not doing anything about it, because in the near future we're going to lose this land. We're going to lose all of the Indigenous rights for these people, and the Canadian citizens will have nothing left here as far as and job creation, because now those new corporations can bring all of their employees here, pay them next to nothing, no benefits, while our people are going to be jobless. So let's do something, change things, and I'm going to pass this on over to somebody else that would like to speak.